So I'm gonna do a quick intro, kinda, and up through the advanced stuff of how to pick, like picking techniques and stuff, and how they work and what works best for what. So, good thing to start with is knowing that efficiency is everything for picking faster. The less movement you make, the faster you'll be able to pick, and the quieter it is, generally speaking, the faster it'll be too. Because you're not wasting too much energy, and you want to relax your hand and your arm and stuff. Don't let it tense up because that's unhealthy too. So one thing that's good to start with is, turn on a metronome, go on, like, play on half notes on a scale, and just double pick it, like with eighths. Okay, and you move just every half note, yeah. You move every half note, and that'll allow you to be thinking of different things at once. But if it helps, just start on one note at first. But don't do open, but don't do it for too much. Like, don't do it too much, because it's better to do it with a note, so that way you're at least engaging this hand. Then you're going to do eighth triplets. When you do the eighth triplets, you're obviously speeding up a little bit. It's 3 in the time of 2, in case you didn't know. You can pause the video like every time I tell you this, and you can do it a few times yourself. I recommend that. Then we're going to go to 16th notes. So 16th notes are going to be 4 in the time of 1/4. So that's straight 16ths. Then we're going to do 16 triplets. This is at 160 right now. So that might be a little bit fast for you guys. I'll still do it and show you guys. But basically, 16 triplets are 6 in the time of 4/16ths. 6 triplets and 6 16ths in the time of 4/16ths. So that's 16 triplets. You'll notice that I lift my fingers up a little bit, and that's subconscious. I don't even think about it. Someone just mentioned it to me the other day, actually, and I was like, oh, okay. So I think the reason I do it is because it allows these tendons to have more of a straight motion versus having them here and being on a pivot, like, you know what I mean? Kind of, because then it bends the wrist versus here. See how it straightens my wrist up a little bit? It's not like a big deal, but I kind of lift my hand up a little bit when I do it. And I think it comes down to, like, making a fist like this versus making one like that. That's the best logic I can think of. And that's gonna be good for whenever you go faster. Another thing I do, which I've had multiple comments on, is, and I don't know, I didn't learn it from anywhere specific, I just kind of started doing it, is this picking thing I do with my thumb. So if you can see this is my picking hand. So it's like, I do that. It's basically like just a motion where I pop out my knuckle, and it's not double jointed or any of that crap, okay? So it's just like if you're doing a hitchhiker's thumb, and then you flex it back in, like with thumb war or whatever. That's basically what I do, but it's smaller motions. And you can barely see my thumb twitching or whatever, but that's what it is. So I don't know if you can tell that, but I'll show you. Basically, it's mainly for if you're gonna do really fast trills or spurts. That's the word I'm looking for. If you're gonna do spurts, like if you want to do 16 triplets in a syncopation, like for gent, or if you're just doing really fast 30 seconds for, like, a quarter note, this is really good for that. So, like, I'll show you. So those are triplets. See if I can show it to you a little bit better, like up closer. So it's kind of like, let's see, what's a good angle? So it's, I know it looks funny, but I promise you it's very fast, and it is very efficient, and I could do that all day. It does not get tiring. And you can even apply it to solos and stuff, like if you want, like like if you're doing like that kind of a thing. So and it's really good for if you want to do something like tremolo pick style, like instead of doing this and like exerting a lot of energy doing that, doing this is a lot simpler, and it's less tiring. So if you're in like G minor or whatever, and you just want to go through this, and you want to make it sound really fancy, and you speed it up a little, that's basically just this. You can't even see it. I'll exaggerate. There you go. So it's just this. That's all I'm doing. And I mean, I am playing it faster, like that kind of a thing. But I'm exaggerating it with the picking, so it sounds more shreddy, or whatever you want to call it. Okay. And then now that you have the picking and spurts, you're going to want to develop this hand a little bit. So you want to get this hand so it's totally free to do whatever. It's not just like based upon just shapes of scales, because that's a habit that everyone gets into and you have to get out of. So one thing I do for this is what are called spiders. They're tritones and then major third shapes. So basically, I'll show you the pattern instead of trying to say it out loud because it'll take longer. That will free up this hand a lot, as well as help this alternating picking. Without a doubt, that is like a huge drill for this hand too, for your picking hand. So get that up to a decent speed, and practice. While you practice that, then practice a chromatic, because that'll be like similar stuff as far as being the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the other way around. It's also a great sweeping exercise if you want to do that kind of thing. Major sevenths. Yeah. So, then once you have that down, you can make up your own shapes. That's a great technique that has helped me a lot, actually. You can do it. I'll do a simple one just between 4 frets, so that way it doesn't get too confusing. It just has to be a little bit out of order and a little bit funky, and it's not a scale, okay? It's just a shape. So like do 2, 4, 1, do that, and then do it on the next string, and just move it up, and then do it backwards. And if you do that a lot, your hand is going to be just like flexible as it gets, and I mean that is huge, and then you can do, if you want to start easier though, you can do conventional stuff like just 1, 3, 4, that kind of thing. Very easy. 1, 2, 4. And obviously you're going to want to go faster than this if you can. Like, I'm not really going fast. I want to make sure that you guys can see everything. On top of this, I would add that there's one last thing I can show you that isn't like a necessity, but it's definitely for more advanced players. It's called economy picking. I've used it myself for about, 8 months now or so, and it's good, and it's definitely faster, but it does take more work to get to, as in it's easier to mess up than regular alternate picking. But alternate picking is much better than just like the same way and way faster, like whether you're arpeggiating a chord or if you're actually playing scales. So for alternate picking, if you're doing a scale like there, we'll do that. And if you're doing that one, then all you're doing is the alternate picking, but you want to keep it to have 3 notes per string if you want to be fast. That is without a doubt a huge metal thing, and huge speed thing, because then it's consistently the same amount of speed throughout every string and every stroke and stuff. So also, if you're going to do economy picking, it has to be an odd number per string. And the reason why is because you need to land on a down before you go to the next string. So for this scale, it'll be down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. And then you'd have to double the top note if you want to descend. That kind of thing. So after you get that, you can speed it up and stuff. But realistically, the difference between the two is not huge. The problem with economy picking is a lot of people tend to do this. That kind of a thing, I'm exaggerating it, but they take that space for granted and they use it to be the thing that speeds them up in their picking. So they pick the same speed and then they just drop down to the next string faster. And that's a bad habit because you'll get off time and it'll sound sloppy. And be developing bad habits as well. So alternate picking versus economy picking, they're both good. There's a time and a place for both. I'll use economy if there's something ridiculously fast and it's just straight up or straight down, because I don't like using it when there's a turnaround note because you have to double pick it, and I just personally don't like how that feels. I'll do it for drills and stuff, but not for practical use, and I tend to not practice it since it's not for practical use. So for these things, like for economy, that's economy. That's economy. So for economy, you tend to use your like wrist for the picking, but your arm for like going down. Think of it as a sweep with picking in between. That's basically what it is. That's about all I have for this video. So, work on that stuff, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Yeah, so good luck to you, and start slow, get good technique, be even, and have good rhythm. That's everything.